words he speaks are true. We're our humanary stew. We don't pledge allegiance to the Black Widow. The horror that he'll bring, the horror of his sting, the unholiest of kings, the Black Widow.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Spider's Parlor. I am the Spider. With me always is our good friend Steven. Say hello to the good people, Steven. Wait a minute, Steven has something to ask me. Where are we going, Steven? Tonight we are going to Transylvania, home of the legendary Castle Vladislas. Tonight's little endeavor takes us into the heart of the Subspecies Epic Collection. Brought to you by Full Moon Pictures. And they gave birth to one of the most underrated vampires to ever come out, and that is Radu Vladislas, played by the brilliant but over-the-top Anis Hove. For those who follow daytime television, Anis was best known as a psychopath Cesar Faison in General Hospital and a spin-off called Loving. Cesar Faison was a very cool villain. It was great to be able to see him in something else besides the Subspecies series. He's a very underrated actor. But this little review tonight, which I am calling Retro Reviews, which should be the first of many, we start off with Subspecies. It came out in 1991, and it's about 3 girls who go to Transylvania to study folklore, and they come across Radu, who covets the Bloodstone, an ancient relic revered among the vampires, a crystal said to drip the blood of the saints. A vampire who has it can survive without killing. However, for Radu, it's like a drug. The more he feeds, the more he needs. We're introduced to Michelle, Lillian, and Mara, as well as a mysterious individual by the name of Stefan, who we come to learn is Radu's half-brother. We are also introduced to the king of vampires, King Vladislas, played by the legendary Angus Scrimm, best known as the Tall Man in the Phantasm series. Radu returns to claim the castle as his own, and in doing so, takes the Bloodstone. This film is fantastic. It's got some great scenery. It's got a lot of fun dialogue. The musical score is just breathtaking. And there's a little ceremony going on during at this festival that is just really cool. Visually and musically, it's a very, very neat scene. The movie did very well for Full Moon, and they created a sequel. That one is Bloodstone, Subspecies 2. Radu returns after his defeat, and we are introduced to Michelle's sister, now Michelle being played by Denise Duff, who would play the character throughout the rest of the series. And in the first movie, she was played by Laura Tate. In this one, we're also introduced to Rebecca, Michelle's sister, played by Melanie Shatner, William Shatner's daughter. And we are also introduced to Radu's mother, known as Mummy, played by Pamela Gordon. Part 2 and Part 3 were shot back to back. So where 2 picks were ends, 3 picks up, which goes into Bloodlust, Subspecies 3. Now this concluded an original trilogy that director Ted Nicolau, who directs all of the installments, did. However, the movie was left very open-ended, and we didn't get a lot of answers. So in 1997 they began shooting, and in release of 1998 we got the final chapter, Bloodstorm, Subspecies 4. It's the final battle between Radu and Michelle. But in between parts 3 and 4, Ted Nicolau wanted to try to create another vampire film, but tie it into the Subspecies trilogy, which gives us Vampire Journals. Vampire Journals introduces to us the vampire known as Ash. He's the music lover vampire. He has a great love and admiration for the musical arts. And the key line in this movie is the vampire hunter who's hunting him with a blade known as the Blade of Laetus. Ask him, who is he descended from? And Ash goes, I am descended from Radu of Transylvania. Which is a great scene when Radu and Ash reunite in Subspecies 4. This series is very underrated, and I think it deserves a lot more than it's given credit for. Sir, some of the dialogue is a little over the top. What do you expect? It's a horror series. Full Moon is known for their Puppet Master movies, the Subspecies films, and the Trancer movies, as well as the Doll Man and Demonic Toys films, and many, many others. Full Moon had a great lifespan in the 80s and 90s. Eventually, they went through different changes and stuff, and they're nowhere near as influential, I guess as you could say, as they once were. They still exist in different formats, and they do have a website still at www.fullmoonpictures.com. It may also be fullmoonreleasing.com as well. They've gone through different changes with their website. But anyway, I highly recommend the Subspecies films, and I recommend exploring a lot of the Full Moon universe. They have a lot to offer. There's some stuff that is definitely not desired. But with the Subspecies films, they were one of the only vampire films ever until recently to actually take the cameras over to Transylvania and use the castles and for actual sets. I thought that was a very, very cool feature, especially for these little low-budget movies. They gave us a lot with so little. And on top of that, again, Radu, honest, fantastic actor. Radu is so cool. The best way to describe the way he talks is, it's like the Godfather mixed with Nosferatu, because he's got the really long hands like Nosferatu, but he talks a lot like this. You are my fledgling. Embrace me as your master, and all that is mine will be yours. Radu has some great lines in this series. Very, very over the top, but, you know, no worse than anything Freddy comes up with, which of course I love Freddy's dialogue. But I'm highly recommending the Subspecies Epic Collection. And it can only be found in a couple ways. You can't find this in stores. You can order it through Amazon.com. You can order it through Full Moon's website, or you might find it on eBay. You're not going to find this. It was a limited release, a lot like the Puppet Master box set that was done in the form of the toy chest. So, I thank you for joining us tonight in Transylvania. Have a safe journey home. And remember, the night has fangs.